My name is Albert, and welcome to Unknown Facts. Have you ever wondered what's really hiding inside the animals around us? Today, we're diving into 19 of the most shocking, unbelievable things ever found inside animals. From light bulbs to live grenades, these discoveries will blow your mind and make you question everything you thought you knew about the animal kingdom. If you're ready to have your mind blown, smash that subscribe button and hit the like button right now. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Our first case starts with a farmer bringing in a sick cow. The vet expected maybe a twisted gut, but when the X-ray came back, they couldn't believe their eyes. There, sitting perfectly intact in the cow's stomach, was a whole glass light bulb. How does a grass-eating cow swallow something like this without it shattering? The vets had to perform incredibly delicate surgery to remove this fragile object. Thankfully, the cow made a full recovery, but this X-ray remains as proof of one of the strangest veterinary cases ever recorded. Next, we head to the ocean where marine rescuers found a sea turtle in serious distress. What they discovered inside was both shocking and heartbreaking. The turtle's stomach wasn't full of jellyfish or seaweed. It was packed with golf balls. Several of them, looking like strange, perfectly round tumors on the X-ray. The veterinary team had to act fast, carefully removing each golf ball one by one. After weeks of recovery, this turtle was eventually released back into the wild, hopefully wiser about what is and isn't food. This next story is every pet owner's nightmare. A couple's expensive diamond engagement ring had vanished, and their only suspect was their beloved, apparently very hungry dog. The X-ray revealed the truth. There, clear as day in the dog's stomach, was the unmistakable shape of the diamond ring. The metal band and dense diamond showed up perfectly on the scan. Rather than surgery, they chose to let nature take its course. For the next few days, the owners had the unenviable task of carefully inspecting everything that came out of their dog. Eventually, after a very thorough cleaning, the ring was back on the owner's finger. You think a ring is crazy? How about a whole mobile phone? Fishermen caught this massive cod and felt something hard and rectangular in its stomach that was way too big to be another fish. Inside the cod's stomach was a Nokia mobile phone, an old-school brick phone. The phone was remarkably intact, though definitely not in working order after being submerged in fish stomach acids. Someone must have accidentally dropped it overboard, and the curious cod mistook the sinking object for something edible. It's a bizarre example of how our discarded technology ends up in the most unexpected places. Imagine you're running late for work and can't find your car keys anywhere. You check your pockets, your desk, the kitchen counter, nothing. Then you look at your dog who's looking just a little too pleased with himself. The X-ray was honestly unbelievable. There, clear as day in the dog's digestive tract, was a full set of car keys. You could see the individual keys, the key fob, and the metal ring holding them all together. This wasn't a wait-and-see situation. The sharp edges posed a huge risk of tearing the dog's intestines. The veterinary team had to perform emergency surgery to remove the keys. The dog recovered well, probably with no idea of the chaos it had caused. This next case is genuinely terrifying. Chinese fishermen found a particularly heavy fish in their nets. When they cut it open to see what made it so heavy, they found something that made their blood run cold. It wasn't a rock or piece of metal. It was a live, unexploded grenade. I am not kidding. The fishermen immediately recognized the danger they were in. Bomb disposal experts were called to deal with this incredibly delicate situation. The grenade was likely old World War II ordnance that had been sitting on the seabed for decades. The fish must have come across it and decided to swallow it. The bomb squad was able to safely dispose of the grenade. Snakes are famous for swallowing prey much larger than their heads, but this next X-ray takes it to a whole new level. A python owner noticed their snake had a massive, unnatural-looking bulge. The X-ray showed the entire skeleton of a chicken, not just a piece, but a whole 4-pound roasting chicken. The owner's roommate had left it out to thaw, and the opportunistic python had escaped and helped itself to a giant meal. The vet was concerned about the sheer size and potential for the carcass to start rotting before it could be digested. They had to monitor the snake closely for weeks, but thankfully, the python managed to digest its feast. This next dog took its love for its favorite toy a step too far. The owners noticed their small dog's teddy bear had gone missing, and at the same time, the dog started acting sick. The X-ray had to be seen to be believed. There, sitting in the dog's stomach, was the unmistakable outline of the missing teddy bear. It had been swallowed whole. You could almost make out its little arms, legs, and head. The teddy bear was causing a complete blockage, which is life-threatening. The surgical team removed the soggy but surprisingly intact teddy bear. After a few days of recovery, the dog was back to its old self, minus one teddy bear. This story is both tragic and infuriating. A deceased sperm whale washed ashore, and marine biologists performed a necropsy to determine the cause of death. The whale's stomach was filled with plastic debris, but one item stood out: a large, crushed plastic bottle. This wasn't just a small piece of plastic. It was a significant object lodged in the whale's digestive tract. The whale's stomach contained pounds of plastic bags, fishing nets, and human-made trash. The animal had likely starved to death, its stomach so full of indigestible plastic that it couldn't get the nutrients needed to survive. It's a heartbreaking call to action for all of us. What happens when an animal's home turns into an unwilling wishing well? A zoo crocodile started behaving strangely, having trouble swimming and seeming distressed. The X-ray was mind-boggling. The crocodile's stomach was literally full of money. Dozens, if not hundreds, of coins of all different shapes and sizes. It looked like a pirate's treasure chest sitting inside this poor animal. For years, tourists had been tossing coins into the enclosure for good luck, completely oblivious to the harm they were causing. The veterinary team had to perform unusual surgery, carefully removing each coin one by one in a painstaking process that took hours. Fishermen have stories about the one that got away, but this is about a fish that got away with the entire rod. Anglers landed a monster catfish and noticed something strange: a fishing rod handle sticking out of its mouth. The X-ray was honestly kind of comedic. It showed the entire rod, section by section, lining the fish's digestive tract. The catfish had literally eaten the whole setup. The theory is the rod was left unattended, and the catfish bit with such force it pulled the entire rod underwater and somehow swallowed it. The biologist carefully removed the rod, and because catfish are incredibly hardy, it was released back into the river. A man was doing yard work when his wedding band slipped off. He searched for hours while his wife's dog helped sniff around the area. After giving up for the night, a dreadful thought crossed his mind. The X-ray revealed a perfect, bright white circle sitting right in the dog's stomach. It was the missing wedding band. The dog had found the ring in the grass and swallowed it before anyone noticed. The vet recommended waiting for the ring to pass naturally. So began the poop patrol, a task no married man ever imagines he'll undertake. A couple days later, success. After a cleaning worthy of a hazardous materials team, the ring was back on his finger. This next X-ray captures one of the most dramatic life-and-death struggles ever documented. A wildlife photographer spotted a heron that looked like it was choking or in distress. The X-ray is one of the most famous and shocking animal images of all time. Inside the heron, you can see a large eel that had chewed its way out of the bird's stomach and was trying to escape through the heron's neck. This was a battle where there were no winners. The eel's escape attempt was fatal for the heron, causing catastrophic internal injuries. The eel didn't survive either. It's a visceral look at the raw, unforgiving reality of the food chain. Goats have a reputation for eating anything, and this story proves they sometimes live up to the stereotype. A farmer's goat wasn't eating, was losing weight, and seemed generally unwell. The X-ray left everyone speechless. Inside the goat's complex, four-chambered stomach was a full pair of glasses. You could clearly see the frames, lenses, and even the little nose pads. The farmer suddenly remembered losing reading glasses weeks earlier while working in the barn. The glasses were obstructing the goat's digestive system. The vet performed a complicated operation right there on the farm. The glasses were mangled, but the goat made a full recovery. This next one is almost too cute to be believed, if it wasn't also dangerous. A marine rescue team found a young seal pup that was malnourished and weak, clearly needing help. The X-ray was both adorable and alarming. Inside the seal's stomach was a perfect, classic yellow rubber duck. It looked like it had swum right out of a bathtub and into the seal's belly. The rubber duck was completely blocking the seal's stomach, preventing it from eating real food. After the toy was extracted, the seal pup was put on a careful feeding plan, eventually regained its strength, and was released back into the ocean. Kids leave toys everywhere, and sometimes the family dog finds them first. A big, goofy boxer suddenly started vomiting and refused to eat. The family couldn't think of anything he might have eaten. The X-ray instantly revealed the problem. Lodged in the dog's intestines was a small metal toy car, one of their son's favorite die-cast cars that had been missing for days. The metal and sharp axles were causing dangerous obstruction. After surgery to remove the car, the dog recovered well. The family learned a valuable lesson about keeping small toys away from their four-legged vacuum cleaner. Cats are usually more discerning than dogs, but they can get into unbelievable situations too. A cat had completely stopped eating and was hiding all day, which was unusual for its personality. The X-ray left everyone in total shock. Inside the cat's small stomach was a full-sized metal dinner fork. How a cat could swallow something so long, rigid, and sharp is almost impossible to comprehend. The fork's tines were pointing toward the cat's throat, which was a small miracle. The cat needed immediate emergency surgery. The procedure was incredibly delicate but successful. It proves you should never underestimate what a determined pet can do. Now, for something from a galaxy far, far away. A snake owner dropped a frozen mouse into the enclosure, but didn't realize their kid's small toy lightsaber had also fallen into the tank. The X-ray was straight out of a sci-fi movie. You could see the mouse outline, and right next to it, the long, distinct shape of a miniature lightsaber. The snake had swallowed both in one gulp. It looked like the mouse was armed for a Jedi battle in the snake's stomach. The plastic toy posed serious risk and had to be surgically removed. The snake recovered fully, and the owner learned about keeping the rebel base secure during feeding time. For our final and most unbelievable case, we meet one of the ocean's top predators. Researchers studying tiger sharks captured one to tag it for a tracking study. Using a portable ultrasound to check the shark's diet, they expected fish, turtles, or seals. Instead, they found a whole, intact coconut. A hard-shelled, hairy coconut inside a shark famous for eating almost anything. Sharks don't climb trees, so the coconut must have fallen from a palm tree into the ocean. The tiger shark, with its non-discerning palate, saw the floating object and decided to give it a try, swallowing it whole. It's a perfect example of how opportunistic these incredible predators are. And that's 19 of the most insane animal X-rays on the entire planet. From light bulbs to live grenades, we've seen it all today. I honestly can't decide which one is the craziest. Which X-ray shocked you the most? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single one, and I'm genuinely curious to see what you think was the most unbelievable story. Thank you all so much for watching. Every view, like, and subscription means the world to me. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next. Because I promise you, it's only going to get crazier from here. We'll see you in the next video.